Chowder was laying on his bed, crying. He was having the worst day of his life. It started off bad when Truffles said that he couldn't have any seconds at breakfast. It got worse when he went to get some ingredients at Gazpacho's stand, and they were out of thrice cream. His day somehow got even worse when Panini started to sexually harass him, as per usual, and Gorgonzola was bullying him, also, as per usual. And worst of all, Truffles had sent him to bed early without dinner just because he was being rude. He was just hungry. It was so unfair. Chowder was still very hungry. He was even considering eating his bed when he heard Mung Doll walking up the spiral staircase. "Oh, Chowder," Mung called. "I know Truffles said you couldn't have dinner, but a little snack couldn't hurt." Chowder quickly jumped out of bed and ripped open the door. Mung handed him a platter with a lid, smiling. Chowder happily took the tray, and Mung looked like he was deep in thought for a moment, before saying, "I have a plan to get revenge on Truffles, if you're up for a little evil, Chowder." Mung left the room, chuckling a little. Chowder opened the platter, super excited, but what he found inside stunned him. It was a full steak dinner. Chowder was very, very excited. He was so hungry, he thought he would starve to death, but here it was. His oasis in the form of steak. Chowder gleefully tore into it, shoveling bite after bite into his mouth. Chowder was in absolute heaven, but then he swallowed the last bite. Just like that, Chowder's oasis was gone. "At least I'm not hungry anymore," Chowder thought to himself. It wasn't long, however, until his hunger returned. Chowder didn't know what to do. He was so hungry, but he couldn't leave his room or he'd be grounded. Chowder licked his lips. He licked them again, and again, and again. They tasted like dinner. Chowder bit down. It was like eating his dinner all over again. Chowder then ate his lips. Soon, Chowder was full again, and he went to bed with a full tummy. Mung woke up, groggy and still mostly asleep. He had heard Truffles screaming and decided to investigate. He wondered to himself if it was Truffles cheating on him. He felt his blood boil, and he walked closer to the screams. As he got closer to the door, he knocked and yelled, "Truffles, you old cur." To his surprise, Chowder opened the door. Something didn't look right about him, but Mung didn't care to study the boy's face. He stormed into the room and demanded to know where Truffles was. I don't know, Mung," Chowder stammered. "What the fuck you mean you don't know, boy?" Mung Doll said calmly. Chowder whimpered and shrugged backwards into the darkness. Mung was shocked. Truffles was died. Mung screamed in terror. He was scared for his life. He turned around woosily and saw Chowder standing there, baring his teeth. Mung looked back at his dead wife, Truffles. She had several bite wounds. It looked like she had been attacked by wolves. He looked back at Chowder, who was slowly approaching him. "Chowder, my boy, this isn't what I meant by a little revenge." Mung was screaming now. "You were always good to me, Mung." "Chowder." Ah! Gazpacho ran a food stand in Yehid Town Market. He used to be Chowder's friend, until the Crimson Teeth incident. Now Gazpacho lived in fear, barely sleeping. He found his mother's head on a platter. Clearly either a warning or a threat, Gazpacho thought. Little did he know. Gazpacho could barely keep his eyes open. He had been awake for... he couldn't even remember. He estimated 56 hours and 23 minutes. Anyways, He realized that he couldn't keep his eyes open much longer. He needed Red to sleep. Gazpacho walked over and into his house. He opened the door to find nothing. His house was empty, or so he thought. However, he wasn't alone. Gazpacho looked in horror at the trail of sticky red liquid that started at his door and continued into his basement. Gazpacho tried to think, tried to reason, and tried to get a rational explanation. One that didn't involve Chowder. Every step Gazpacho took made his heart beat faster. Gazpacho heard the whirring of machinery below him. He kept moving forward. He reached the basement door, his heart pounding in his ears. He gathered all his courage and gripped the knob. He slowly pushed the basement door, fearing for his life. Gazzy stared into the endless dark basement. He was scared, very scared. He slowly creeped down the stairs, very carefully. There was the whirl of machinery echoing all around Gazpacho. Each step creaked and groaned as he stepped on them. Gazpacho had reached the final step and stepped onto the cold basement floor. It chilled him to his core. He was chilled and scared. He took a terrified step forward, and stupidly, he fully walked into the room. The machine that was whirring was Gazpacho's thrice cream machine. Chowder wondered why the machine was turned on before he was snuck up by Chowder and knocked out. Gazpacho woke up a little while later, strapped to a table for preparing thrice cream. Chowder was standing over Gazpacho and holding a sharp tool in his hand. Gazpacho screamed. Chowder tabbed Gazpacho in the chest. Gazpacho screamed. He looked into Chowder's eyes and said, "Chowder, why?" Chowder stabbed him again and thought for a moment. "Because," Chowder started, "you were out of thrust cream. Now I'll never run out of thrice cream." Gazpacho screamed as Chowder turned on the thrice cream machine. The machine was incredibly loud, and Gazpacho was quite scared. He screamed and begged Chowder to let him go, but Chowder just laughed and said, "Yum yum in my tummy tum," over and over again, ominously. Who's that? Okay. Oh, shit. Hello? Hi. It's not like I'm sorry. Okay? I didn't... You know how I get when you interrupt my work? This has been my dream for how long? No. Yeah. What do you mean? You can't... you can't take the kids? Where are you taking them to? Yeah. Your mom's house? No, wait, hang on. No, what do you mean? Wait, hey, wait. Fuck. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, that's... Of course. Of course this happens to me today. God fucking damn it. Such a fucking idiot.